So the old lady spiritualist said the plane is haunted. Huh. I don't know that I want to believe in ghosts. Don't mind chalking it up to my own ignorance of the aircraft, but boy, almost does seem haunted though, doesn't it? Yesterday was horrible. I'll be with you at the top of the hour.
This show brought to you by Mikach. I'm replicating that.
After being pecked by a radioactive bird, a somewhat mannered Tuthill was compelled to become Kinneas, the Skydude. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space itself. There's a line from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know why they added itself into it. Frankenfurter, time and space itself, right? But it's British who wrote it, so it's got to be proper by referring to time and space itself. So it goes a little something like this, folks. It's haunted, the old lady spiritualist said. They didn't tell you about the phantoms of the fallen flight when you bought it, huh? Skydude just blinked in surprise before she continued. They were a wealthy couple, and they don't like you. They don't feel you're qualified to fly their rebuilt CJ-4 and want to get you out of the picture. You're going to have to try real hard to impress them, Skydude, or, frankly, you're doomed. Sure felt that way, didn't it, yesterday? I think that was the most haunted episode ever. From the very start, plagued with the landing gear problem. We saw the landing gear problem. Then the throttle problem, then the flaps problem, then the ghost spoiler problem, and then the lights issues, and then all of the botched skips, and oh my gosh, non-stop comedy of errors the entire time. And so yeah. Now, it started in episode 387, maybe? 381? 381. Couldn't be 387. 37? I don't know. I've got it listed in the last episode. But I was coming in from Denver. We were doing landings in Aspen, Colorado. And I couldn't stick it. I couldn't stick an RNAV approach in this aircraft. And then the engines spool really slowly. And I lost control and crashed the thing a couple of times. So the ghost was successful, and it just humbled me bad. And so I was bound and determined, let's hop back in the saddle. We can't let this plane get the best of us. We've got to, also like the 737. I can't let this plane get the best of me. So yesterday, jumping back into the saddle, and boy, it got the best of me pretty much the entire time. Learned a lot, as we do. So before coming on to do today's show, I thought I would refresh on the user's manual a little bit, and I thought that I would do a flight to give my crew some fly time today, get a couple hours in before the show. And everything went really well until the very, very end. And then it was just a visual flight rules landing. And maybe it's this new controller. Maybe it's the way that I have it set it up. Everything's too tight, a little too sluggish. The engines, again, maintaining speeds. We came down hard, went off the runway. I was braking and crashed the thing right before the start of the show. So, chalk another one up to my incompetence and the haunting of the CJ4. So let's find out how bad. We have 1,376,279. I might not have enough to cover the cost of the repairs. We'll see. Hopefully I didn't cheap out and get the cheap insurance. Aircraft repair, insurance coverage. Checkup allows us to identify the damages caused after a rough flight. We estimate the reparation cost to restore your aircraft to its previous condition at 167,552 credits. Your insurance plan covers 80%. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Admiral. Admiral Aaron was insistent that I always get the best coverage. And now, for some aircraft that I'm completely familiar with, I'm confident enough, but stuff always goes wrong. So I usually cheap out on the ones that I really know really well. But this one, yeah. So to just restore it to where it was, and then we get a discount for I've been doing really good, so getting my rating, my reputation up. But I just took a big hit again. But either way, we get a discount for a reputation, which brings it down to 33,500, which is fantastic. So fantastic. Now we even have money to go double check other things. Boy, the details. Maintain the tire pressure of the landing gear. No matter what, get that. I don't know why there's 3 landing gear. Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah. Duh. Kinneas, duh. Adoy. This is messing me up last one. This last flight, what was I thinking about? Is it something to do with the electrical system? Now I can't remember. There was something else that was bothering me, and I'm like, remember to look into that. First thing I do is forget. So as you can imagine, today it's going to try to make these folks, these ghosts, happy. Because they definitely weren't happy yesterday. And they really aren't happy right now, but they're just laughing and laughing and laughing. Because they almost took me out again. So, big day in the world today. Artemis crew getting ready to launch. Do a 10-day trip towards and around. Maybe, I don't know if they're landing on the moon or not. Just the orbit. I really don't know. I haven't been paying that much attention. I know it's such a historic thing, and I'm over here. Bleep, bleep. I don't know. Pointing that out yesterday. 10,000 to wash the plane. I'm in the wrong line of work. That's got to be a new game. I think we should come up with a new game. Airplane Washer Simulator. And you hope one of these pulls in every hour. Oh! Before we get going, I want to show you something else. Some people were giving me advice on how to proceed with my ownership career. I've said limit the number of planes, sell all the planes, and always buy better planes. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted an army, and they're like, oh my God, the maintenance, the time you're going to have to spend maintaining all your planes and blah, 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 blah. You're setting yourself up for a lot of work. Skydude. I know. Can't help myself, though. I like the idea of having a big fleet anytime I can afford to buy another Skyhawk for cargo, I'm going to do it. So now I'm up to 10. Right? 10 Skyhawks running cargo while I'm flying. I love it. But again, yeah, everyone that might need repair every week, or I don't know, every now and then when I got enough money, go in and make sure at least they're all washed. Make sure there's no red warning that they're badly damaged. And I picked up a couple of new ones for flight seeing. I wanted this helicopter anyway, just to try it later myself. The Robinson R66 turbine. Never flown one of those. So I bought one of those for the flight seeing group. Bought them another Skyhawk. Yeah, I know that they don't make a lot of money, but it's the adventure of it all. Imagining that, creating this huge company. Let's see what else I picked up. Did I pick up anything new for aggro? Nope. Aggro is tough. Skydude searchers. Did I buy another Cub? No, I thought about it. I was close to buying another one. Maybe after today, maybe tonight. See how much money everybody makes today. Because these make a lot of money early on. I really enjoy flying this thing. It's a joy to fly the Savage Cub. All right, so let's get to making some money and see if we can make these ghosties happy. Yo, why does it sound like you're in a closet? Oh no. Does it? Is it too far away? Oh no. I haven't changed anything. I had the direction changed. I have it facing another way now. The room gets a lot of reflection and it's really bad. I guess normally it's sitting more like that. So does that sound any better? Oh, that's unusual. I'm going to have to listen to it. Nothing really changed since yesterday. Again, the direction. When you say it sounds like I'm in a closet, muffled, or normally it's a large room reflection. All the darn glass around this darn room. I mean, it's nice in the summer with all the light and all. But, yeah, for the most part, because of that, you get so much reflection in the room of the audio. So are we here? Is that the plane we're on? Nope, that's not the proper one. Ah, hey, I know what it could be. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. Duh. The the microphone was facing the wrong direction. I wasn't paying that much attention. I thought it was the right side. Hopefully that sounds a lot better at this point. Yeah, I was talking into the wrong side of the microphone. Well, that's a great way to start the show. Just lovely. That's funny. Well, hopefully it was still loud enough that you understand. We'll just chalk that up as another haunting. They made me do something stupid. I made myself do something stupid. Okay. That's typical. Okay, so CJ4, where are you? I don't remember where I landed. Oh, I landed in Colorado somewhere. Thought we were up here in Granby. We are. That's where I crashed. Do. Update from Hazardous. It says T2 hours to Artemis 2 launch. Mark. Okay, I learned some things. One, it does have a toga button. One, if it is going to be an ILS landing, you probably will have to add more information into the FMC. I'm not thrilled with how she handles and the slowness of the engine spooling and just getting the darn speed where you want. Let's see here. Fuel. No, not defuel. Good thing I'm rich. Can you imagine that? $38,000 for some freaking gas. $38,000 for gas. Okay, flight plan. 15.8. Okay, and then climb from runway 26. Waypoint. A VFR pattern. Well, I have to try landing the thing manually again. KBED, Lawrence, Kansas. No, that's not Kansas. That's way over there. Like Vermont or something. Probably going to skip cruise on this one, or at least some of it. That's a long jump. The tough thing about skipping now is where they put you. So what they've been doing is putting us pretty much on skip, is putting us on final, not on approach. So instead of popping in at Edwind, EDWND here, it's more like they've been spawning us at on final. And that leads to all kinds of problems. Because, all of a sudden you're still really high and you're still going really fast, and it's really bad, a really bad situation. Anyway, let's take a quick look down here at the runway and what they have us set up for. And the last one, even though I followed everything perfectly, I didn't skip anything. When I did come in for an approach, they still descended me really late. Right? So I had to do like 2 or 3 times around the area to get down to the proper altitude for the approach. I had to do like the pattern 2 times. And then try to keep the thing slowed down. It was ugly. So I don't know why they're doing that either. Still air traffic control no matter what. even when everything's filed right and you do everything right, still bringing you down really, really late. I'm no robot yet, so being able to handle all of that workload right on a spawn like that is super, super tough. Oh my gosh, got some great news coming up in about 5 seconds regarding Red Dead Redemption from Hazardous. He says, you wouldn't believe what mod I saw this morning for Red Dead 2. Buster Scruggs character mod. LOL. Yeah, I will put an LOL. I agree. And I would put a big heart next to that. That's fantastic. Admiral Aaron showed me, he posted in his chat yesterday in Discord, all the songs, the campfire songs in Red Dead Redemption. Pretty darn good that they took the time to make a series of songs. And, they don't sound half bad. It kind of reminds me of the old Dr. Hook band. So, I don't know that I believe in ghosts. Again, I'll chalk it up to my inexperience, but I am going to throw some salt over there and maybe throw a little bit of salt right there. A little over here. Maybe a little couple of grains over there. Throw some salt over here and here. Into the bathroom. Some over there. Some over there. Salt is one of those things, that they've said from the ancient days that has the ability to drive off spirits, or at least make them really mad, right? And so, cool. Get the right engine going. What else? Probably don't need the pitot heat on yet. The altitude. We're not there yet. 22%. Fired up. Start left engine. Make sure my controls are working. Great, thank you. 20%, 21, 22%. Start second engine. Okay. Avionics to on. GPS mode. Heading. It's really difficult to keep two things that you want for the viewers to see on the screen at the same time. So I'm trying to keep that screen up and then get my heading knob. Cockpits aren't really designed for live streaming. Got to keep this near this because then you can't see this if you zoom in. You know what I mean. Okay, so we'll put heading hold on. We will turn nav on as well. I learned this trick from the last tutor. He says you can be in heading mode, and as soon as you get to a GPS mode, it sometimes auto transfers over to nav mode. So we'll try that again. Flight level change. He said don't use it until you're at the proper speed and you want to go up. So start out. Turn the flight director. Start out in vertical speed is the suggestion. 2,500 feet per minute. There's 25. Okay. What is next? Heading set. Nothing to tune. All visual flight rule stuff. Okay. I'm missing. Oh no. I wasn't paying attention to the mission steps in the upper right hand corner. I went through all the startup, got it ready, and I missed the boarding part first. So now they want me to shut my engines back down. That's all right. We can do a Control E fast start. Need a Bible on board. Hey, Captain Atlas. Been doing some great shows. And a lot of them good. Yeah. I need a Bible on board for sure.
Captain, we'll begin boarding on your command. Ground service. This is flight SVI 32 parking 1. Clear to start passenger boarding.
So if you're tuning in late, today's story kind of goes something like this. It's haunted, the old spiritualist said. They didn't tell you about...
Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon to you, too. They didn't tell you about the phantoms of fallen flight when you bought it, huh? Skydude just blinked in surprise before he... It says she continued. They were a wealthy couple and they don't like you. They don't feel you're qualified to fly the rebuilt CJ-4 and want to get you out of the picture. You're going to have to try real hard to impress them, Skydude, or you're doomed. Well, I guess I'm a she today. Kind of like my co-pilots. Have you noticed that lately? All the co-pilots, they come in as one gender and then they have a different gender name. It's very strange. Okay.
Hi, team. Ready to leave for Bedford? I see you're already getting everything prepped for our passenger, Madame Massey. We expect all of you to provide her with the best of service. I know I can count on you. Have a good flight, Captain.
Pardon me. Oh, I'm sorry. I just tipped a bunch of salt on you. I'm sorry about that. It's for your own protection, though. There's some snacks up here if you want something, you know. Some drinks and all. No, the plane's not haunted at all. Why do you ask?
Kilo Bravo Delta, uniform traffic. Kin Sierra Victor India Tree 2 is taxiing to runway 26, Kilo Bravo Delta uniform.
So with the Artemis 2 launch, which is happening shortly, I haven't been following it, honestly. I know it's something so historic and I'm not paying any attention. I've heard it's a 10-day situation. There's no landing. They're just going to go orbit the moon, right? They're going to go hang out at the moon and hook up with some aliens.
To all passengers, welcome onboard flight SVI 32 with service from Bedford to Bedford. We'll be shortly in line for takeoff. Please fasten your seatbelts and secure all baggage underneath your seat, and to make sure your seats and table trays are in the upright position for takeoff. Please switch all personal electronic devices, including laptops and cell phones, to airplane mode. This is a non-smoking flight. Thank you for choosing Radiant Airways. Enjoy your flight.
1 hour, 53 minutes. So, I got to look into it. I know it's, again, they've been saying the 10-day mission, that's all I know. But, that in itself is really cool. I mean, we haven't done anything cool in a long time. And that's really cool. I think if they were going down to the surface of the moon, they'd be making a big deal. How many days does it take to get there? At the speed they're moving, it's going to be really impressive. Can you imagine the shots that we're going to get back from the moon this time around? It's going to be wonderful. And, I'm imagining that they're going to be doing a whole lot of scanning. And gathering more data for, I'm imagining, possible, future landing sites. I'd be scanning. I just out of curiosity, if there was a scanner on board that can tell if the thing was hollow or not. I'd like to perform that test. I'd also, one of those where conspiracy theorists from the beginning of our moon shots, just all those weird side stories about structures and, again, it being hollow, aliens sitting up there wanting to have a powwow when we got there. We're never told the truth about anything anyway, so it has possibility. The world is far stranger than we can imagine, my friends. 24-hour trip around Earth, 4 days to the moon, and back. Thank you very much. Our science correspondent, Captain Hazardous, on the broadcast today. Oh, hey, speaking of, a little thank you and praise. When I can find it. Thank you. Disregard the super chat thing from it. Thank you for that. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Just putting that up there. My goal is to get 5 super chats next, and that'd be fantastic. Tough times, though, and I understand.
Kilo Bravo Delta, uniform traffic. Sierra Victor India Tree 2. Taking off runway 26. Departure to the east. Kilo Bravo Delta Uniform.
I'm really glad that we've connected, and I can't wait to hang out with you in Atlas again and do some more farming. I can't wait to watch more of your Red Dead Redemption stuff. Atlas has got his continuing stories going as well. If you have not liked and subscribed to Hazardous or Atlas channel, please do. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button on my channel today, I'd really appreciate it. That'd be great. Every little bit helps, and I get by with a little help from my friends.
I'm First Officer Matt Hardy, and I'm here to ensure you have an enjoyable flight to Bedford today. If there's anything we can do to make your flight more enjoyable, please let us know. I gently remind you to fasten your seatbelt, and that this is a non-smoking flight. You'll find a safety briefing card in the seat pocket in front of you. Prepare for takeoff. Thank you.
They should let me come up with my own messages. Yeah, I don't care if you smoke, madam. It's going to be a stressful flight, so I'd say I'd suggest lighten up. And we're in Colorado for a while still, so, you know. Okay. All right, so I found out this thing has a toga button. Toga. And it is on the joystick. And I need to bind toga. They want a space in between it. Toga. Auto throttle toga. Okay. We'll put that button there. Okay, so toga sets your flaps properly to 10 degrees, or it sets it prepares you for takeoff. And so as we get going here, we want to press that. Okay, check your controllers always, see if it's got a toga. Speaking of flaps, let me press toga and see if it puts flaps. Oh, really? That's tied to landing gear? That's not good. The ghosts and the gremlins, they're back at it. Gear up. We don't want that. Just toga. All right. Let's try it again. And keep it on my flaps. Toga. Yes, no? See, here's the button on the thing. Okay, it's on. It didn't make any noise. What? That or 50%? Either way, toga's on. Okay. Everything? No. Still missing the altitude. 15.8. All right. Set the heading. Got that. Good. I think we are good to go. Cross your fingers. If you stream today, I would cut into the rocket launch. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm doing. Called around looking for somebody that could fix joysticks and couldn't find anybody. I keep looking though. $500. Man, I'm gonna toss that lady around in the back. She doesn't turn on a dime. There's 1,000 feet, flaps up. Where are we at? 194. Okay, so now turn on the yaw damper.
Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2. Radar contact 2 miles, west of Kilo 0 Tango Oscar 5. 8100. Altimeter 29902.
Yeah, I put her through some stress.
Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2 contact. Denver approach.
They didn't give me enough time to respond.
125. Good day.
You guys.
125.125 for Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2. Denver approach, Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2, 9800.
Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2, Denver approach, altimeter 29902, radar contact, continue.
Heading mode didn't stay on. Figures. So that didn't stay on. Gremlins. More gremlins. Okay. Now what about vertical speed? I had to turn that back on. Nav toggled off. Yeah, she ain't gonna be happy at all.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2 contact Denver Center on 125.905. Good day.
Good day to you too.
Going to 125.905. Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2. Denver Center, Kinneas,
Oh, no.
Victor, India, Tree 2, 13,700. Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2. Denver Center, altimeter 29902. Radar contact, continue.
Altitude.
Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2 is cleared to Hanscom Airport as filed. Squawk 1276.
All right. We have reached altitude. And are speeding up. Let's go to nav. She didn't want to go to nav. So let's do a direct to Oxgood.
Kinneas, Victor, India, Tree 2. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 0.
Huh. The flight plan was only 15.8. Okay, so, well, that's fine. Let's do 338. Yep, overspeed. I should have hit flight level change 2 seconds earlier. That's all right. Well, let's see what she does here. She gets back to speed. Will she engage? Flight level change. There she goes. Good. Did Toga turn off? Toga turned off. Flaps up. Forgot to turn on landing lights. Yeah, when we took off. I don't know why they want them on when you take off, but there's a logic behind it. 2:46 in the afternoon. Still climbing for our cruise. Leaving Colorado and heading east. So, say goodbye to the mountains. It's not going to be that spectacular. Going out east, it's pretty much flat. I mean, you do get the occasional mountains here and there. But nothing like the Rocky Mountains. What else is on? Is on showing my name. It's got to be the camping thing. Aha. $20,000. I was a little too cavalier on the last landing. Having to go around, you get frustrated. I get frustrated. I got frustrated. And so when I finally came in and I thought I had it good enough for a landing, it really wasn't. And I probably should have done another go around, and I didn't listen to my better judgment. Figured I could do it. And put myself in a bad situation. And I've got to stop doing that. That whole, it's a game, doesn't matter, whatever. And get it right. If I have to do another go round, do another go round. But I was getting ready for this show. So that was another part of it. Hurry, hurry, hurry. 22,000. Well, I sure hope they have a successful, you know, I know that they've been in the cockpit for a while. Now I saw them getting in, or, you know, they were getting ready to get in. Interesting how slimmed down the cockpits are now. And I'd really like to get, you know, as the next days start going on, I'm sure, you know, we're going to now get to see more what the interior looks like. I hadn't really had any questions about, I mean, but since there's 4 of them.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2 contact Denver Center on 1 tree decimal 905. Good day.
So I don't expect that they're sleeping in their chairs. So, you know, I'm sure we're going to get to see more of the capsule or whatever it is. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what the inside of the thing looks like.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2, acknowledge last transmission. 1 tree decimal
24,000.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2. Denver Center, Sierra Victor India Tree 2 is at flight level 245, climbing flight level tree 0.
I saw one of these flying overhead the other day.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2 contact Denver Center on 118.475. Good day.
118.475 for Sierra Victor India Tree 2.
They're going through pre-flight checks now. I should probably pull that up. Why not? We have a cruise to do. So let me go find something on YouTube. Ah, the Hustle Brothers are watching. Let me see if I can tune into their station.
On top of the crew module is the launch abort system, and it has its own motors, so that we'll arm it about 5 minutes prior to launch, and then it stays with the crew module until about the Kármán line, so that 100-kilometer point in space. Once the crew could safely get to orbit, it will actually be jettisoned, and the crew module will then be exposed. So this is just a safety mechanism that stays on the outside of the crew module, and then as they monitor the attitude and the thrust and all sorts of the roll, all sorts of different data points to make sure the crew is safely getting to orbit. And once they are safely to orbit, then we will get rid of that launch abort system.
And it looks like they're putting all these parts that they're removing from around the crew module hatch into a bag, because they have to take this out with them once they leave the pad, right?
Yes, yeah, we don't want anything left up there in the white room, and especially because that crew access arm will move away from the capsule and the rocket, and so we want an empty white room, no FOD like we talked about.
Still here, guys, don't worry.
So that we can have a safe launch.
I'm just vaping because you can't do that on YouTube.
On the right side of your screen, that had been inside the crew module, providing breathable air to the crew. And now again, with the crew module closed, and then getting ready to close the second hatch that has been removed and is out of the way.
One moment, I'll adjust that here in a second.
Continue to do their work.
Yeah, that's just a duct to provide some cooling air and some.
Right, nearly 100 of you over on X. Smash the like button, please. Just come out of the stream, Smash the like button, come back in. Really helps me out. I'm pushing towards 2,000 followers on X. I love it. I'm not even that active on it.
Now, crews have designed their official mission patches since the Gemini 5 launch in 1965. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, they really wanted to play on
Say I'm not active. I probably post like 10 posts a day. But yeah, compared to still.
The second major flight of the Artemis program, but also a mission to explore for all, by all. The crew chose the iconic Earthrise.
Over 6,000 posts in a year. Yeah, maybe I am active on X.
The first crew to ever fly around the moon. The mission was
Watching you in the window while live streaming my show today. Do you know what? What I'll do, I'll open your stream too, my guy. James, big shout out. Fellow Yorkshireman. I'm currently in Yorkshire. Please smash the like button. Yeah, guys, smash that like button if you're in there. Not your usual sock show, but yeah. Here are the guys inside the SLS, ready to go around the moon.
Importance they put on their patch design.
Another camera angle of inside the Orion spacecraft.
I was going to say, we might be able to see Rise, but I think it's right behind Reed's foot there.
No, it's in cruise.
So, to orient people
Boring.
again, so basically we have...
Namisha says, hello, James, my friend. James, do you know what, yeah? If this is successful, me and you go on the bed tonight, yeah?
So what you're hearing is Liam. He is one of the Hustle brothers. And they're like the #1 channel following eVTOL and Archer Aviation and Joby Aviation and everything to do with eVTOL and stocks in general. And only recently have I been an investor.
James having a cup of tea at the moment.
Let me see if they got the audio for them going. Okay. So you should be able to hear them. Let me turn down Microsoft Flight Simulator a little bit.
Making sure that thing won't come off. And so now Victor is signing there, followed by Christina, and then Jeremy. That's a fun tradition, and your patch is up there too.
It is, yeah. Ours is on the left-hand side there. Yeah, it's a fun tradition. This is a really fun day too. You know, they did this a couple days ago, but it's just another step that makes it a little bit more.
Breaking news: Trump will be addressing the nation at 9 p.m. It said that it'll make a very important announcement that might have impact on the whole world. Of course it will, because he'll pull out while the Strait of Hormuz is still closed.
Basically,
like he said earlier. And yeah, they'll if they want to get their oil, they can go get it.
A way for him to just check out the data, see some of the data.
He's been making some really interesting statements lately.
I'll have to bring a batter to catch all of this.
Right, yeah, it's basically
the way I see it, and in past, I normally don't talk politics, but he brought it up today. And I enjoy history.
Can you talk a little bit about?
And we have had a conflict, the Eastern world with the Western world.
Yeah, so they have
way before Alexander the Great.
Blank pages to take notes on.
Anyone that's just joined the stream, do let me know. What is your favorite drink? To chill out, what is your favorite drink?
A cup of coffee.
Mine has to be Moretti.
And we've had a conflict with the Eastern world, and we've particularly had a conflict with
it's almost 4 p.m.
Arab societies on later what became Islamic societies, and it's been ongoing. It's again
where I'd love to go
back to Alexander the Great, the Crusades, and I have been seeing this for the last 30-40 years as an inevitable. It's an inevitable. You're dealing with an enemy who is unrelenting, and they won't quit. It's like a bad horror movie or a bad science fiction movie.
Does anyone follow NASA spaceflight?
No, I haven't followed NASA in quite a while. I used to, because I was part of the Star Trek gaming community and science fiction and science, everything. So I used to cover NASA a lot.
Unnecessary war. Very disappointed. I do believe you're going to pull out yes, I do believe you will pull
That's
out.
what this mission's all about.
But look, it's not looking good because the whole market believes you're going to
We're
pull
not
out. So
sending our money to the moon and lighting it on fire. We're putting
Trips
that
on the
money
ground
right
could
back into
happen.
the economy in ways that benefit everybody. So every dollar that comes out of the Treasury that goes to support this mission goes back into the Treasury 3 times. What is very important to me is that we do it the right way, and that we do it with our values, that our industries grow, that our communities grow, that our families are healthy and safe and have amazing things to work on. Then we're going to build machines to go even further.
anyone on X,
You don't believe NATO?
don't follow us. Please do smash that.
At Safeway, get more savings your way. Sign up for the Safeway app, browse the weekly ads, and start saving with personalized deals and coupons. Top members save 35% weekly and can earn points on gas, groceries, automatic cash off, and more. Shop online and enjoy the same deals, rewards, and perks with free curbside pickup or convenient delivery. Safeway, fresh foods, local flavors. Restrictions apply.
Oh, the American in me, man, just is so
people that this
absolutely.
is
Yeah,
going
I
to
want to
so many
leave too.
jobs across the country.
Yeah, across the country and across the world, right? The whole world has a part of this. The Artemis Accords are signed by over 40, 50
I'm still there,
different
guys.
countries,
Don't
and
worry
so,
about it.
Yeah, we're taking all of the taxpayers' money and we're putting it right back into the jobs here in the U.S.
And the money too, you know, when we have more disposable income because we have good paying jobs, that's money that goes back into our economy.
We are NATO.
Let's
If
say
we
two
leave,
good-paying jobs
they
out
are
the way.
all
It's just an ecosystem that NASA is
Food.
proud to be a part of.
Right. Not only is it about the money and the economy, right, but it's also about the science.
Yeah,
We're gonna learn and
they are.
exploration.
You
On
know,
top of all of those things, we benefit the economy.
I don't ultimately think that they have a bigger problem than the one that we're facing. Nobody. I don't believe anybody in this world is facing a bigger problem that is currently being that's the one currently being dealt with right now.
Her first mission to space
So,
actually last
you know,
March. She launched from here at
I don't know. They should all be jumping in right now saying, oh my God, this was inevitable. It's about time we deal with this situation and put a stop to it and say no more.
Right, guys, just put up a poll there.
We've
Will
given
we
you
launch tonight, yes or no?
1,000 years. Well, maybe not that long.
For
We've
launch.
given you hundreds of years
She also
to
conducted
chill out.
to help upgrade the orbiting labs.
The world cannot suffer for you to be the way that you are.
SpaceX step
You
in.
leave us no choice.
Continue the Artemis.
You leave us absolutely no choice, and we have to put a stop to you. And other than that, who is fighting
How
who?
do you feel about
You know,
SOS,
everybody's
guys?
talking, oh, the Russians, the Russians.
Space.
I have no fear of the Russians.
I think
Are any of you guys around for Sam 5?
and you know just kept working hard and never got
We know.
bumped up the path and ended up here.
I don't fear Vladimir Putin in any way, shape, or form.
Like we talked about, you know, if you're willing to work hard, be a good team player, you can really get anywhere.
When I was growing up in the
Sometimes
70s and 80s, yeah, Russians.
Kind of a theme for the day.
Does the job.
Definitely
Dave says.
They were our enemy. And it's been a long road with the Russians since the 70s. And we did them bad. Let's just be completely truthful about how things unfolded after World War II. The promises we made that we didn't keep. I don't want to really get into any of that. Who did what to who reneged on agreements here. But we've come a long way. And if you lived through the 80s if you were aware of what was going on politically in the 80s, we were all under the fear of nuclear war.
And Artemis 2, like missions before it, is a test mission.
And we finally got over that we finally came to an agreement where the threat of nuclear war was finally put to bed for the most part. And that was huge. And then we're starting to slowly realize, look, the Russians are really no different from us, especially in societal matters, in religious matters, which is a big deal because we're talking about, cultures getting along. You have to have things that tie you together. And that's a big one right there is religion. They're a Catholic Christian nation. What are we doing?
The second is AMT high, which will be called out by Capcom standby.
You know, sure, they've had to deal with things in a very different way than we have had to deal with things. Their reality is very different, but today we're more of the same, I think, than ever before.
5 minutes, 16 seconds into the flight, you'll hear the call 3 engine.
China will always, you know, from their start, they were always they warred internally, and a lot of it, but they really never went out and tried conquest.
Again, these MECO targets give the flight control teams and crew.
They've got enough territory.
One main engine be lost, but as we are
Japan, I think they're freaking cool.
This differs.
There's South Korea.
Where the Orion capsule separates from the space launch system prior to the
they're the second potential biggest wild card out there. So you've got Islam, which is this is going to be horrible, folks.
During the first 8 or so minutes,
it's going to be so. I'm glad it's so far. It's not just completely out of control. Where everywhere they're agreeing, yes, we must go along with this caliphate. We must jihad.
Capability can be used from here.
I'm hoping that this latest generations of them
Next is an untargeted abort
are realizing. They've got Wi-Fi and games, and they're cool, and you know, what are we doing? I mean, we're the master race, we're the master religion, really? And that they can see themselves for what they are clearly.
It's not mad. Apollo had none of this.
Yeah.
Burn profile is a bit different to aim for a splashdown in the Pacific after one trip around the Earth.
Yeah, you're so not afraid. I in so many ways, and I've never, it's been a revelation to me in the last decade to say that I admire Vladimir Putin. I admire the things that he says. I admire the way that, you know, what they do in their country, what they've been doing. I don't have a problem with him. I know at the end of the day, you know, anybody's still just a potential enemy. But if I was China and if I was Russia, I'd be like, look, even both of them, it's so weird, their relationship with Islamic countries when they have been fighting Islamic countries. They have been in conflict with Islam as long as we have. China, the whole Uyghur situation, those are Muslims. So China is trying to contain them and their encroachment into China and stifle Islam within China. Japan is doing a great job. They've put their foot down and said no mosque. Well, they whatever it is in Japanese.
All right, copy that. And you know, the more times we ask you to do that, the closer we get to launch. So that's a good thing.
Other than Islam,
so when Saturn
NATO,
V
what are they? You know,
around,
I mean, they've gotten by and they really don't need anything. And
he was a wee lad, but watched down Black.
I can't see any, you know, them. The European countries kind of fighting each other, wanting to fight.
Kennedy Space Center and seen Saturn V.
Amazing news.
I'm telling you, when I go to the US, I want to go to Kennedy Space Center.
But now I want to get back over to Daryl with the launch team. He has an update.
Well, his main objective.
All right, we're finally at 33,000 feet.
They want to get Ariane
make sure we're
on the right trajectory.
Yeah, we're not overspeeding.
Flyby off the moon. They want to test the radiation on the far side of the moon, so it'll be the furthest humans have ever been. We are hoping. I don't know why the laptop keeps doing that. India landing craft on the moon.
I wish they would have just put an auto throttle on this thing. They put everything else in this thing. Why?
Yimbai says
the one thing that could really help this aircraft.
I was very surprised, Yimbai. 57% of the audience here believe that the moon landing did not occur, but we will be bringing on Namisha, who doesn't believe it occurred, and she's going to put her side of the story across. So I can't wait for that. Also, young boy, you became a member earlier on. I want to start doing more things for members. So Number one, I need to know what stock you want me to buy into, because the whole thing is going into the portfolio. And number two, yeah, we're going to start doing member-only live streams, maybe once a week or so, where I can connect with you guys.
So yeah, the Hustle Brothers. I've been for the first time ever investing.
He's more than 7 years than NASA.
He's talking about Archer right now.
You guys don't believe in the moon landing. I can't believe it. I love it.
Anyway, I'm now invested in Archer Aviation. I'm invested in Joby Aviation, Vertical Aerospace.
Professional way. I know I'm drinking beer, but let me say
Palantir, Anduril.
How do you say it in the US? Let me go to the restroom, and I'll be back in.
We got a weather update that came in to the launch director from Launch Weather Officer Mark Berger. He reported out that there's still a little bit of feisty weather activity that's happening.
Yeah, the auto throttle.
The city neighboring the Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And then now they're currently over in
Why? Again, let's throw in everything else, but let's not put in a speed control, a speed hold, any sort of speed stuff.
And in fact, we're seeing some good sunlight now breaking through onto the launch pad. As you can see, it's actually shining on the other side of the rocket here, but to the west, we're starting to see some of that clearing that was forecast.
Now I'm starting to lose a little too much speed.
His forecast for
yeah, it'd be so much nicer if I could dial it in and lock it in.
during our launch window tonight, which, as a reminder, is 6:24 p.m. Eastern.
And barometer wasn't set to standard. There.
Eastern time. And we're also hearing that the last hatch closure, as you can see in the bottom corner of your screen, they're starting to work on that. That's the launch abort system hatch. There are two hatches, the crew hatch and the launch abort system hatch. And the closeout crew that you see right there.
You're talking about the hatches.
Right on time with their work.
Oh, that's the wrong. That's the wrong damn. Oh man.
Right now.
Not even on the right screen.
Hatch. That's the latest from the fire room.
I'm an idiot.
To the host desk.
Thank you so much, Daryl. Great news all around. And yes, we did just see them close the last hatch. And now we are looking at a live view of Banana Creek. Lots of people there, I'm sure, relieved to hear that that issue with the flight termination system has been resolved, and we are go for launch. Go for launch from the range, go for weather, and go from all of them, I would imagine.
Yes, it's got to be exciting. The crowd is building, and as Daryl said, you can start to see the sun poking out here, and we can see all the clouds are moving north and moving away from us, so it's all good news.
And so, as we know, we have our Leah Martin down there at the Banana Creek viewing location.
It just closed the second hatch. That's what I caught.
Hey, Megan, I don't know if you heard that huge cheer just now. Have you heard a big rumble? As soon as Daryl said the rain.
Oh man, there's so many stories out there. Yeah, like, did we go to the moon? Didn't we? You know, oh man, how could something built back then that looks like that take us to the moon? Right? I mean, it looks like a tin can. It's like, how? Come on, really? But, you know, we are clever. And they don't, and have never had to tell us the full truth about how the thing works. They've never been under an obligation truly to tell us, you know, what kind of systems are on board and blah, 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 blah. And
take 3 people with you. Who'd you take with you?
So
I'd take my dad and my mom.
You know, and then there's that whole Stanley Kubrick aspect of things with the moon landing conspiracy. What happens if they died? Contingency plans. You can't. What would that do to
upsetting, you know,
the American morale?
More of you were here than when I left.
They're like, oh, so we had to film that stuff just in case something bad happened. Okay.
James says, has anyone
the American
watched the urban exploration of the Soviet era?
get ready for launch, to
Why is
be
that
mindful
Burn
and to be in this
Space
moment.
Shuttle
Obviously,
video
people
on
to be standing
YouTube?
here
It's very
knowing
good.
that the people you've worked
I
so
haven't,
closely
but
with
I
are
will check
doing
that out.
what they're passionate about, or doing what
That's
they
what they're
were
doing with
born
our
to
tax
do,
dollars.
moments
While
away from
we
launching
get
this
into our
rocket.
step, we have higher
Just tuning in, you're hearing Liam from the Hustle Brothers on YouTube. #1 channel for eVTOL,
Plays
Archer,
over 100
Joby,
of you
anything
on
to do with the
X.
emerging urban air mobility
Smash that follow. We'll keep
community, and mostly
streaming anything
it's all
in
about
the space
investing,
sector, and also
investing in these
smash that like
companies
button, really helps
because
us
it's coming no matter what, right? So everybody in this community is very bullish, as you can imagine, on Archer, Joby, Andrew Palantir, any surf mobility, Beta, Horizon. There's so many players in the field right now, and that's just scratching the surface, because there's all the infrastructure people, and then there's all the FAA people, and blah 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 blah. But either way, it is coming no matter what. And you can, if you don't know, you can fly the Archer and the Joby and the Jetson. But Archer and Joby, right now, you can fly. They were included with your purchase of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
I promised I don't only drink beer on the stream.
The manual covers 2020 and 2024, but I can't tell. I don't know if they're available to purchase for 2020. I would assume so. The manual covers, it doesn't discriminate.
I do think we're going to get a reversal in the market.
People that we can see in the white room. It takes a lot of
Liam's talking about some market stuff right now.
and this rocket ready to launch.
And so
It's down as low as we think it's going to go. Not that it can't go lower, but right now it's one of those, if you've ever been like, oh man, I missed out when it was low, because the way things have been going for the last several months in the market, everybody's on hold or buy, but everything's been in a huge dip, and the eVTOL companies have all been part of that. Everybody's slumped right now, and these eVTOL prices to get in for Archer, Joby, Beta, blah 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 blah. If you're going to invest, you would want to be paying attention right now.
Most of the crews are afraid of heights.
I know prices, the stock price can always keep going down, but it's so close to bottom that everybody's singing Glory Hallelujah right now.
Landing on the moon, my guy. And
buying like mad.
It's going to be the furthest humans have ever been away from the Earth.
They don't believe at all that
what has happened there?
Any of these companies are going to tank, that they're all out there pioneering this next generation of aviation. Now,
this Artemis 2, Artemis 1 was unmanned.
Let me turn down Liam for a minute here.
Manned. Artemis 3
Here's
was meant to land on the moon.
The monkey wrench in the equation. Let me try to find the volume button on over here. Okay. Some things that have not happened that I thought would happen. And they may not happen. And that is Embraer and all of the existing massive aviation companies that produce aircrafts for the last 100 years. They're not the ones, as it seems, doing all the pioneering into this space. But Blockbuster didn't do it either. Hollywood Video didn't do it either. And what I mean is, they knew that streaming was coming. Technology waits for nobody. And they didn't consolidate right then and there or do whatever to create a new group to immediately start transitioning Blockbuster into our homes as a streaming service. Now it's Netflix and Prime and Paramount, and we never got Blockbuster home streaming. Netflix did. Netflix wasn't even operating. Remember when Netflix showed up, they were just Redbox. And they were outside of convenience stores, and you could get a video or DVD that way and then mail it back to them. And they trusted society, and they became millionaires, and they immediately transitioned into streaming and phased out Redbox. They're hands-on the physical media. So that example is Embraer and all these other major aviation companies that produce aircraft. I have been worried that at any moment as an investor into Archer and Joby and these smaller companies, that those companies, like Blockbuster or others, have the potential to try acquisitions or buyout or, can you believe that Cessna, that right now, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow countrymen, world citizens, there is no Cessna eVTOL even being talked about. Honda has beaten Cessna and Embraer and King Air and everybody else who makes general aviation aircraft to the eVTOL market. The Honda eVTOL is, how do I say it without getting in trouble? It kicks so much AFT. The Honda eVTOL. And I'm even a little bit worried about Honda, because when people really see that Honda could make some of the ones starting here in the United States look like chumps. And people are, hey, if we buy from the Japanese, it's cheaper anyway. So Honda all of a sudden is going to have a huge market in the United States. Congratulations to Honda and Toyota. Toyota they already have showcased and featured the Joby technology and seem to be in partnership with Joby. So that makes things a little bit more worrisome for the Archer market. Boom seems to be making headway with that supersonic airliner. They may be close to a deal with American Airlines. Wow, supersonic again. We haven't had supersonic since oh my gosh, can't believe I can't think of the name of it. Oh my god, I can't. They shut down the Concorde. So maybe with all the new stuff, but wasn't it? It was too expensive. It was too loud. I don't know what the deal was, but Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix, and they said no. So I really like Archer. I really love flying the thing. And in this last week, going back a week or more, if you look through my channel, you'll find all the little videos I was making on Archer aviation, and then did a series of runway tests and videoed those, mimicking what they were doing in the real world at this time. They're on their way to getting their FAA certification, and they have to go through, you know, all these lots and lots and lots and lots of tests. And in this month of March, all they're concerned with is taxiing and runway maneuverability, and that's it. No taking off, no flying, no concentration on transitioning. It's just simple taxiing and runway handling at various speeds, from 1 knot to 7 knot, yada yada yada. And so I spent most of my time doing the same kind of things. And as they continue to do new tests, I'm going to continue doing trying to recreate those tests in the simulator. One thing that made the biggest difference, of course it will, is getting a hold of the user's manual for the aircraft. It's not the best written manual, and it can cause confusion. But it's still worth its weight in gold to go through the manual as many times as it takes to get it configured to the way that they want in the manual. Or do your darnest to even get close. Because it's actually quite surprising how they've got things key-bound, and it's pretty neat. And it's a new form of thinking about cockpit operations in general. It's called dynamic controls. And that's binding more than one input to the same keybind, and doing things like when you push forward on your yoke, your stick, you will accelerate to 4 knots and then release the stick back to neutral. And now it'll stay at 4 knots. If you push your joystick forward again and hold it for a moment and then release it, you will increase up to 7 knots. So, you know, if you pull back the joystick one time, it'll come back to 4 knots. So these kind of built-in detents into the joystick. If you push and hold all the way forward, it will go maximum speed. Then you know, it's neat. It's neat. And they use a 2 joystick system. I still believe they can keep simplifying it down to a 1 flight stick system. But now that I have an extra in my old joystick, I'm able to try flying that way, and it's actually quite nice once you get used to it. The muscle memory, you know. They shut down the Concorde because of the crash at an airport, and a lot of people complained about the sonic boom it made. Yeah, if they have worked out those things like quiet cruises and reducing by their shape the sonic boom, then yeah, I would really hope that they come back. Let me turn back up the Hustle Brothers channel and see what's going on over there.
I love it. I know my mother can't stand Wallace and Gromit, but yeah, I love it. I grew up in England, but live in the USA. What part of England did you grow up in, Amisha?
I think this is the lady that is
I was born
advocating that the moon landing didn't happen.
And I'm currently, as we speak, where I'm sitting now is in the UK. Yeah.
And now we are back live at the pad where the
James
closeout
knows the
crew
clangers.
is getting ready to leave the White Room. They are now tethered, Nicole.
North
because they
Finchley,
are about
London.
to,
Okay, do you
move
know
some pieces
Queensbury?
that
Do you
connect
know Queensbury,
the
London? Or
Orion
do you know
spacecraft
Wembley?
to the White Room.
Of course you know
Yes,
Wembley,
there's
but
kind
yeah.
of what I would call a shroud. You can see them working that
Rolly,
center,
oh
so,
man, how do you not know the
it is
Clangers?
actually
Classic
connected so that way the
BBC
gap
show of my
between the
childhood.
Caraxus arm and
Rolly,
the
how old
module,
are you,
and
my
well, I guess
guy?
that's
Do
the
let me
LAS
know.
there, is
More
covered.
cheese grommet.
But
Yeah,
they're about to remove
okay.
that so that the
Yeah, Wallace and
Caraxus arm
grommet.
is not
Yeah,
connected to the rocket.
absolutely.
In the past, when you look at old footage of Apollo missions, the gentlemen that were doing this job right now that we're seeing on the screen, you know, closing up the hatch and this and that, and there's usually more of them, they never had the luxury of those harnesses, as far as I can tell, because you can always read their logos and their company names on their backs pretty easily. And can you imagine how terrifying it was back then if you didn't have that safety harness holding you there? People in the past were very brave.
It's 53 minutes. That's. It was meant to launch what?
The Goat Gains. This thing ain't
now.
launched yet.
The launch window is what? Is it 4 hours long? But no, they're anticipating 53 minutes. Rolly, 48. Rolly, we need to go for a beer at some stage, my guy. I'm not going to say
that's
where
fantastic.
you are, because I know you did change your
Hazardous is saying in the Concorde, or the new supersonics that they're working on, they've changed the design so takeoff and landings don't create the sonic boom until they're up higher much higher in the atmosphere.
Namisha don't remember Button Moon.
For one of the two batteries on the LAS is
I'm too young for you guys.
And
I'm 28.
the team is working to understand, first of all, whether or not this may be a sensor issue, or is there an issue with the battery itself. So again, looking into it,
An issue with the battery?
As we speak. With regards to the weather, we did get some good news there. Launch Weather Officer Mark Berger reporting
Be back soon, Button Moon.
that the weather chances have now improved for the window. We are
Guys, well over 100 of you
is the
there on
only
X,
one
dude.
that's combining
Hit the like button on
sildenafil,
stream. I know it
tadalafil,
takes
and
a bit of effort,
apomorphine.
but come
Sildenafil
out of
and
the stream.
tadalafil bring speed,
Sorry,
learning,
one
and power.
moment.
Hit
The
the repost
apomorphine
button.
works directly
Helps
in your
me
brain
when
to
you
boost arousal, so it's not
realize,
about
and
being
also
able...
smash follow button. Follow. There's no way all of you are following me. There's no way.
That is certainly viewable.
Button Moon was really good.
By just looking
The
up.
spaceship was a
So we're
big
getting some
beam
good clearing
tin
as
made
forecast.
into a rocket.
And then just a reminder,
I feel like I'm
for those
missing
people
something
who
now.
are watching the launch from the nearby area, that if you're watching on an
James, how old are you, my
internet
guy?
device, just remember that there may be a little bit of a delay.
James, am I
Depending on
right?
how
You
much of
said
a
you're
delay,
from
but
Yorkshire
since
as
it's
well.
on an internet
Yeah, we need
device,
to meet up, my guy.
sometimes this broadcast might be a little behind what you're actually seeing. So just keep that in mind as you are watching. Don't wait till the last second to run outside if you're inside your RV or your camper or your house. That's the latest here from the firing room. Of course, we'll keep track of that last battery issue. We'll send it back now to Megan.
I'm
and Nicole, the
47.
hostess.
Yourself and Rolly, same sort of age. Guys, two of us need to meet up. When I'm going back across Ireland, I'll
to the inside of
pick
the
you
white,
up, James. We'll
the
go
white room,
across.
because obviously now we have
Yeah, I'm sure Rolly can meet us close enough to the port. And yeah, we'll all have a big get together, my guy. Christian, 52. Do you know what? It is wild. I can see my analytics on YouTube, and most of you guys do fit in that sort of range.
But yes, so obviously again, things
Guys, feel free to let your ages go in the stream here. I'm actually quite interested. Anyone on X? At the moment, there's a problem with StreamYard. I can't see any of your comments. I can see them coming in, but it just don't show them up, so I can't put them up on screen. Jump across to the YouTube, and yeah, I'm gonna do a members giveaway closer to the launch.
Sometimes it's just a sensor issue.
And any of you guys in there know, I want to make sure that any of you get it.
And so if we can take a shot of the crew inside the capsule if one's available.
Just make sure you have bang that like button and bang that subscribe button too.
More about each of them. So we have Artemis 2 Commander.
Also, guys, do let me know, are ads overwhelming at the moment? Because I know some of you guys have been complaining about the amount of ads. I've tried my best to reach out to YouTube and see if they can reduce the ads, but yeah. I don't see anyone else's comments on X. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I can see them come in, and it just like, I don't know, it goes like all these boxes with an X on it. Have you ever seen that? It's like a rectangle with an X in it going across the screen. I can't read it. Kinneas says Hollow Moon, ancient alien base inside NASA run into structures and aliens in space. Watching them. Do you guys believe in aliens? That's another one. I haven't seen that, Christian says. Also, on my YouTube at the moment, one of them says there's 9 people, another one says there's 1. I can tell there's more because when I go into my analytics, it says there's 43. So, yeah.
They just showed some shoes and it looked like they had land ports at the bottom of their feet. In the heel of the foot, it looked like there was a land port. Come here, we got to plug in the, find out how you're doing.
Don't be afraid to ping me on X if we can.
His first trip to space, November 2020.
Liam, you're going to say you don't know who the Womble from Wimbledon. No, I don't. I honestly don't, my guy. And that's not me even taking a mic. And James believes in aliens. I actually do. I secretly do, my guy. I believe in aliens.
Victor is a U.S. Navy captain and naval aviator.
No, I don't know the Wombles. Let me look them up.
More than 3,500 flight hours and more than 40 different aircraft. So again, he probably feels pretty at home in the pilot seat of Artemis 2.
Yeah, I think he does.
Oh, mate, do you know what? Yeah,
doesn't look too different from what we fly. See, look at those shoes. They've got land ports in the bottom.
My God, the Wombles.
Kennedy Space Center before
I'm 28. 28, my God. I'm only young.
They look comfortable though.
Victor's energy earlier, and you could see him working through, pushing some buttons.
A lot of you guys followed me there on X. Big shout out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And then mission specialist Christina Cook sitting on the
Who remembers the raccoons?
corner of the screen there, native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, was selected to the astronaut corps in 2013, same class as Victor. Served as flight engineer on the International Space Station.
I've never seen that in my life.
February 2020. During that time, she set a record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman with a total of 3
Release date 1985. I was born in 98.
She also participated in the first ever all-female spacewalk.
Man, everybody seems so young now.
Speaking about Cash Believes, let me have a look.
I was born in 68. That's how old I am.
Rock climbing, community service.
My missus is wild about rock climbing. As you can see myself, fantastic rock climber here. I'm built like a rock climber, aren't I?
We see them and we copy.
Nah. My missus is built like a whippet. I'm built like a walrus.
Get through everything, so we're getting close and then trying to talk that other issue that we just picked up a little bit ago. But
okay, Lunar's gone down.
Otherwise, we're doing really well.
Rock Lab's up.
Sounds good, NTD. We're doing great on board.
Glad to hear it.
NASA test director giving an update to the crew. Some messages flashed on their displays. Just wanted to say that they didn't have to worry about that. We're going to clear that. And that also just reassuring the crew again.
Guys, you just jumped in, smash that like button. Helps me out more than you realize.
With the launch
also, that lag, that's not me. That genuinely is their camera.
Right.
There you go.
And then first-time flyer, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will fly to the moon as a mission specialist on the Artemis 2 mission. The London, Ontario native, selected as an astronaut in 2009. After that, he worked as Capcom at NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston. Capcom stands for Capsule Communicator and is the sole direct voice communicating with astronauts while in space. Jeremy also participated in training exercises, really cool ones like living on the ocean floor off the coast of Florida to simulate deep space
Plant some me.
exploration.
I'm 20 minutes from north of the tunnel.
In 2017, he was the
Mate,
first Canadian to
we are
lead a
definitely
NASA
meeting up. I
astronaut
don't
class.
care.
He also enjoys getting out on a
I'll be
sailboat,
coming
rock
through that
climbing,
tunnel. I
and
know
mountain
exactly what you
biking.
mean. I'll be coming
He
through
has
that
a
tunnel.
wife and 3 children.
You may already know that creatine is one of the most proven supplements to boost muscle growth. But this is Transparent Labs Creatine HMB. The science shows that by combining creatine monohydrate with HMB, you can expect significantly more lean muscle mass gains over creatine monohydrate by itself. So maybe you're new to the game, or maybe you've tried them all. Supplement smarter by making the switch to Transparent Labs Creatine HMB.
%.
Gemini 3, Gus Grissom, John Young, March 23, 1965. Apollo 7, Wally Schirra, Don Isley, Walt Cunningham, October 11th, 1968.
Have you ever seen like the Saturn III?
Transportation System, or STS-1, John Young,
It's in
Robert Crippen,
2000.
April 12th, 1981. Then NASA's SpaceX Demo 2, Doug Hurley, Bob Behnken, May 30th, 2020, followed by NASA's Boeing crew flight tests.
Oh, remember that Bowen one? That was a complete disaster, wasn't it? I remember watching that. I actually think I streamed that.
And now,
Let me be honest with you guys. I think Christian may remember it. Remember when we went to stream the...
surprising, honestly, to hear that through all these decades, through all these launches we've had, this is
What's
only
its
our
name?
7th new vehicle that we're testing for crew.
Yeah, you know, we have so many
Starship
different
launch.
missions that we think about
And we
talk about,
we had to
really
stream like 3 days in a row. It kept cancelling. And we'd be there for like an hour and a half waiting, and then it'd be a hold.
a permanent test. Right?
Yeah,
we have,
I managed to
you know,
go through that, and then I brought
hundreds of missions
Francisco
or
on. I was
so.
like, mate,
You know,
you
an
must be
airplane
the
that gets
blessing,
tested and then
because
flown has thousands of data points. And
yeah,
so
I done it
really
2 days
spaceflight
in a
is
row,
always going to
and
be
they
tested.
held, and then they
I think
aborted.
it's important to remember that, especially as
They
we
scrubbed the
put
mission
humans on
completely,
rockets that
and
we
then
never
yeah,
had before.
yeah,
for the 7th
Christian
time,
remembers
start
it. Yeah, that was a bummer.
vehicle.
It was a nightmare, and then I'd have to go through the whole mission again. And the difference is with like a SpaceX mission, with the NASA SLS, I can let them do the talking. With that, I was like quite heavy into the space sector, so I was like proper explaining everything around the Starship launch. And yeah, cancelled twice. I had to go through it like 3 times in a row. And in the end, I was like, Francisco, you have to come on, because like I can't keep going through with this. Will space start to go up after launch? Yeah, if there's a successful launch, they will, because this is not just one catalyst. If you think about it, the mission lasts a week, and if there's a successful mission when it comes to NASA, then contracts will start being pushed through push through the administration to start going through the commercial. Liam seems a bit buzzed, yeah. Honestly, yeah, I'm like, I'm a lightweight now. I'm like, what, 3 beers deep or so. Liam, I done my first tour of the States as a sound engineer the year you were born. That's insane, and I've never been to the US. Yeah, I need to get to the US. I know Dylan has invited me over. I know Brandon, Harvard CEO, has invited me over to Canada many times too. To do an interview at the facility, so maybe.
The thing I love about the moon is that it's not just a beacon for exploration and this platform.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping around Neutron
I had a
launch.
text message come in. I've been so quiet. Forgive me a moment while I step out. I need to grab a cup of coffee or something to drink. One moment, please.
When do you guys want me in the US? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to do like an eVTOL tour? Do you want me to do a space sector tour?
whole generation
let
of
me know.
people starting this pipeline of STEM workers and
It'd be worth it
manufacturers
if
and
you got to
operators
fly
that are
in a
excited to
hover.
see what you can do when you work hard and you come together as a team.
If I could fly in a Caver X7, yeah, I'd be on the first flight over. It was like, who said it earlier? Go across and do the interview in person. It's a bit like, yeah, it cost me like $1.50 to get across. And if you guys don't watch, then that was a waste of like $3,000. Go across, come back. But yeah, no, we will get there eventually. I know we had Mark on the channel. We were going to fly up there. But, yeah, things happen, don't they?
And so Mission Control Houston will control the flight of Orion after a liftoff here
There's
at
more
Kennedy
you
Space
coming
Center.
in, do smash
Here's
that
Gary
like
Jordan,
button as
who's
you get
embedded
through.
with that team. Gary, you might have to pause because we did just hear a call out.
Just a
from the
pond hop.
commander.
Wish it was. Do you know what's meant to be a really lovely country? My brother was over there for
45 minutes after the hour. Kinneas the Skydude here.
It's expensive, but
flying the haunted CJ4. Got Hazardous FM in the chat room. We're all watching the space launch stuff now.
Cork
on our, and Atlas was in here, but everybody's focused on the Artemis mission or what else they're doing at the moment. I have the Hustle Brothers channel up on in the lower half of my screen, and you've been hearing Liam talk to his group over there in their chat.
The space launch system, the Orion spacecraft integrity,
and Hustle Brothers is the #1 channel when it comes to everything eVTOL.
We can suggest questions. Yeah, look,
investing,
we'll get Brandon.
Brandon again, as just general investing, but they are focused on Archer, Joby, Beta.
This phase of flight is highly dynamic.
Yada 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 yada.
The transition, we will get Adam on.
So a little while ago, I was talking about my fears with the.
Let me work on.
That just unexpectedly, there'll be takeovers and people can lose their investment. But if things roll out the way they did with Blockbuster and some of these others,
we're going to go after transition of midnight.
Oh, you know who I forgot to mention?
I haven't got a date. Let me.
I forgot to mention Boeing and Airbus and United Airlines. That is one thing. There is a connection between Archer and United Airlines. So we've seen takeovers and acquisitions and, so what if what happens when United or Boeing or Airbus jumps up and tries to buy one of these companies? Because even airliners, even CJ4s, everything is going to go the way of vertical takeoff and landing. It's just so much more safe. And there's plenty of hybrid models being built out that are both traditional gas and electric. And there are people working on the jet versions of the VTOLs. So everybody's has the potential to get in, especially Boeing, Airbus, and some of the bigger ones. I don't think, United doesn't really build planes, but there's an airline company right behind them.
Why I want to do this for 2 or 3 days.
Job is done, and it is then going to turn the propulsion duties over to our ICPS. That stands for Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage. Don't try and say that too many times fast. But the ICPS is going to
that is
about 50 minutes into
something I don't even want
to launch. It is going to conduct that first burn, and that's going to be the
put any power to in the realm of possibility that something horrible could happen to these astronauts.
Raise the spacecraft from a lowest point of Earth just a little bit higher in
I think
space, and then they are going to
following your thinking,
set them on that nice circular path around the Earth. That's when they're going to start to be able to really check out the spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft is going to be able to, like we've talked about,
it becomes a first contact situation. That'd be interesting.
And
You know?
You know what? Let me get something to eat.
It would rewrite
before
Star
this
Trek,
over.
that's for sure.
35 minutes to go. I'll be back. I'll leave this
a
room.
little bit higher again, and then they will it'll be about time for the ICPS to separate, and they will start another lap around the Earth as well. Now the ICPS, but even after it separates, its job will not be done because they will have the opportunity to conduct something called the proximity operations demonstration, and this is going to be really important for our future lunar missions because the ICPS actually has a target on it, and the crew is going to have the opportunity to manually maneuver these spacecraft like we've mentioned and practice those docking maneuvers. Now obviously they will not be docking for this mission.
I wonder if they also have ILS, right? So here we are flying these things that have been around for a long time, and ILS has been around for a long time. And you know me, I just don't like flying manually. I mean, if it's supposed to be done computerized, I want to do it computerized. And I like doing ILS landings, and I like doing fully automated landings. And what do they have? I mean, she said that they are working, they're going to be doing manual approaches and manual connections. I wouldn't want to be doing that. I'd be like, hey, where's my ILS to this thing? Are you kidding? Why? It's like, what do you mean no auto throttle? What? You don't have an ILS for this thing? That thing isn't a floating VOR out there? We can dial its radials in and nav to. But again, they're not under any obligation to tell us how any of it works whatsoever. But looking at the avionics package in front of the astronauts, it's hard to imagine they don't have
space station is only 250 miles. So,
VOR, pardon, VOR navigation, ILS connection. Maybe it's under different terms, but you get the idea. You know, the same kind of navigating equipment that we use. That is just not Buck Rogers controlling the joystick through the whole thing.
10-day mission with the Artemis 2 crew. But here we are, 32 minutes, 50 seconds and counting from the opening of our launch window. Feels really, really surreal here as more and more people come to gather on the press site lawn here at Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah, what you're talking about is Neil Armstrong and others saying that they saw structures. Neil Armstrong said he saw lights coming from the dark side of the moon, and then there was something about satellite dishes. I've heard of crystal structures like in Marvel Comics when the X-Men went to the moon to fight for Jean Grey. The Watchers were there, and they showed all these. Marvel showed all these crystalline buildings and structures on the moon. Now things like that have been reported, and big structures too. And in one story, I don't remember which mission or which astronaut it was. For a period of time, the NASA radio was cut, but the ham radio listeners outside the perimeters were also listening. And their tapes play one of the astronauts saying, "Oh my God, they're all on the other side of the crater, parked up on the other side of the crater in humongous spaceships, and they were just watching them." The beings, whoever was in the large spacecraft sitting up on the edge of the crater, they were in there watching our astronauts putz around. So, you know, there's been stuff about the reason why Neil Armstrong had to go up the second time was that that's who they met with the first time. Like, he was their ambassador. And that they weren't going to talk to anybody but Neil Armstrong. So they had to send Neil Armstrong up again. Now that's way out in fringe territory as far as possible realities. But, you know, even Buzz Aldrin has come around and slipped lately, and sometimes he's just really open about it. About obelisks on Phobos, right, floating around Mars. You know, Buzz has always said some interesting things, and you know, it coming from Buzz Aldrin, that's pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, Neil Armstrong, sometimes he said some really strange things.
Introduce you to just a small portion of the people across NASA who have been supporting this mission.
Patty Ortiz, NASA Armstrong Flight Research Center, Orion Program.
Orion.
Kathy Graves, Glenn Research Center, Office of STEM.
No, I haven't heard that. That sounds like a cool, whether it's real or not, that's an interesting tale. Somebody
There we go. Right back here. Where you from?
I'm from NASA
astral projected
Here we go.
Les Furman from APL.
themselves to the moon and saw the same thing.
Mark Robinson's Dennis
He saw aliens and they could see him, and he got scared, so he ended his vision thing, like the CIA, like the remote viewing, where you project your consciousness. That's pretty wild to think. That'd be a pretty amazing ability to have.
Big NASA family, and we have one major message before we launch tonight. Okay, guys, what are we gonna say? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that made me so emotional. That was so inspiring.
I'm Liam, and I'm from the Hostel Brothels.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, just
I was going up the stairs, and that's all I could hear.
doing to support this mission is amazing, and I'm sure this was something that really rang true and resonated with NASA's Administrator Jared Isaacman, again, to see the workforce come together to do the work and then to be here for launch. So why don't we actually go over to him now with our Jasmine Hopkins at one of our other viewing locations.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. The energy here on the balcony is honestly becoming electric.
I really enjoy Liam, and I really enjoy the Hustle Brothers.
That subscribe button if you
And they've added this gentleman who goes by the name of Goat Gaines to their podcast, and Goat is a fantastic gentleman. He's a great guy. Dylan is the other Hustle brother. I don't believe they're related in any way, but so you got Dylan, Liam, and now Goat on the podcast, and they're some pretty terrific people. That's why I follow them, and we're all bullish about the eVTOL future, and we would all like to be financially secure, and that's what's bringing us all together, is our bullishness on Archer, Joby, Beta, Horizon, Vertical Aerospace, Surf Air Mobility, Palantir, Anduril.
How excited are you for a moon base?
How excited are we for a moon base? Well, that depends on the aliens we're talking about right now, right? You know, and the funny thing is there's probably an NSA server out there right now monitoring all these podcasts and conversations while this is going on. I'm over here talking about, well, it all depends on what the aliens think. You know, us getting a moon base.
It's going to be new territory.
You vote on that poll. Will they make a moon base? Yes or no?
Remote viewing stories are batshit crazy.
Non-believers.
What? You know what? I'm now realizing
I can't
the
believe
chat
non-believers
projection up onto the screen has been missing. Let me make sure.
We're coming close to 200.
I can't believe I forgot that. So much to think about.
Today here, some kids running around the balcony. How do you hope Artemis 2 inspires that next generation?
You know, I talk about this all the time. Like, you know, one of our, I think, our overarching KPIs that we should always be tracking is the number of people living and working in space. Well,
Smash that like button if you're just getting in, guys.
The number of kids that are dressing up as astronauts for Halloween, so that they grow
there,
up.
now the chat.
Also, smash that reactions. Do you know the bottom right corner? Smile.
I would like to find another chat screen display. I like how the ones that these guys have at Hustle Brothers, where they can pick which chat they want to display, and it shows it like that on the screen.
Someone share me on Discord.
I want to know. I want to know what this one is.
Some of my shares do be pretty weird.
Let me blow it up and show you. So at the bottom of the screen, on his screen, that's the chat he's highlighting right now, and it puts up your avatar, puts your name up there, and then it puts your chat quote up there. there.
Sincere appreciation.
I don't mind showing just the chat stream. It's hard to read, though. That's the thing, too. There's no, I couldn't find a way to put a background
Max, it's been a while, my
behind
guy.
the text. It just lets you put like a stroke or a drop shadow kind of thing.
Did you hold the?
It makes it really difficult to read.
Did you hold the nerve with Beta? I seen Beta did fly down, but then started.
So anyway,
pushing
yeah,
up.
I would really
Did
like
you
to
manage
find
to hold the nerve with your Beta stop. More folks
what
watching our next.
what are they using to do
It's
that?
always the case. X is so much easier because they can close.
I'll need to ask them.
Still listen. I have one. Liam, you need
See, just changed it
to
again.
Volume up on NASA stream. I'm afraid there's going to be a crash. I have a feeling about it. Okay, my guy. I'm sorry if you can't hear it too much. Is that a little bit better for you, my guy? I only see 12 people on YouTube. I'm currently seeing 46 on YouTube, my guy. YouTube's all over the place at the moment. With analytics. Yeah, I didn't sell Beta yet. It's only up like 5%. I want to wait until 20% up. Do you know what I was feeling for you, my guy?
You know, when I do my secret space thinking, yeah, I mean, if I get really wild,
I feel sorry for you.
and I start going back to secret space programs,
calling it today, I said.
My mind always goes back to 1917.
You're definitely up on it.
Okay, so around the time of Tesla, when we started developing the technologies to
Is the sound on NASA any better, guys? Do
discover aliens, around the time when we started creating all of our electronics, Edison to Tesla and everybody else involved in this field. And it's massive. So we think about Edison and Tesla, but there's so many others as well. But we have the technology to hear radio signals, discover all kinds of things. So Tesla comes out and says there are aliens. I don't know that Edison ever talked about it that I know of. I don't have anything on Edison, and I'm sure it's there.
I can see whoever it is smashing the reactions.
But
Really
anyway,
help me out. Do join in.
My mind
smash
goes
that
to
reaction.
1917 to Tesla, and then from 1917, 1920 to 1950.
When you flash
So the
people up,
period
I don't see them in the chat.
between the 20s and the 50s.
You can't see the guys I'm flashing up on the screen.
Let me turn them down in a moment. I don't want to be
what's up with
conflicting.
YouTube at the moment.
Mar-a-Lago. How do I? There it is. Okay. So between 1920 and 1950, what do we get? We get the start of the UFO phenomena. You get the first sightings near Mount Rainier by Arnold, right? Was that his name? Man, I used to have a sharp mind when it came to all this stuff, and could rattle off names, and it's all slipping away. So the gentleman that first encountered the crescent shapes over in near Mount Rainier, right? So you got that going on, and then later you had Roswell. And then going on in our own government, the rise of what we would know as the Majestic 12. But there's like only 4 little things that we know about like that. But there must have been many more other instances going on, and people in government working on this, and people in, again, all these electronic fields, and just so much we don't know between 20 and 50. And then from 50 forward, we start getting in, the Project Blue books, Condon reports, modern ufology. Hynek, Mothman prophecies, and then into our era, I forgot Star Trek. And I bring up Star Trek because I believe it was part of an indoctrination program, if we're going to get crazy with conspiracy theories. That Star Trek was tailor-made for a specific reason, to be put on air to prepare us for days like today. It's been about 100 years. Well, maybe not close, not quite. But the whole point of the Brookings Institute, bringing all these moguls together to discuss the protocols of first contact and what that would do and how long we would need to prepare society to handle something like first contact. Understanding it's an inevitable. So between 1970 and 1920, realizing, not understanding it's an inevitable. It's going to happen. You don't have, so from then, they don't have to tell the general public about anything. Then the 50s, we don't have to tell the general public about anything. Maybe it's not an inevitable. And then the rise of our own technologies, it's becoming an inevitable. It's going to happen. People are going to find out about these aliens. The average person is going to have everything within their own means to find them themselves. And that's kind of where we're at today. So yeah, Star Trek was part of the plan, part of a mission to ease people into the idea, working beside aliens, and us living in a giant galactic neighborhood. Project Blue Book was a great show. I was mad. When they, and I don't believe it concluded, they could have kept going, but they had the ability to name names and be real specific with people in the government. And they kind of tiptoed around using real names. They used their real names. So you've got Hynek and you've got the other guy, and right? But then when it came down to people in the government that they were dealing with, again, tiptoeing around real names. And what really happened with those people. And when they started doing that, I started writing them nasty letters on Twitter. Why? What are you afraid? What are you? You're just fake news. You're not telling the whole truth. This isn't a history channel or whatever. Whatever. I was mad. And then I don't really remember much about where it went. I was expecting them to at least continue Blue Book, maybe to the very end, and keep going with it. And maybe even touch on Hynek later in life, meeting Steven Spielberg. I want to do I want to reboot Star Trek so badly. I have written an entire season. I've not written the, like every word of the scripts or anything like that, but the synopsis for an entire season of rebooting Star Trek back to 1917 and filling in all these gaps, whether it's just made up or not, but putting these weird theories out there. So it's going to start with Tesla and everything that I've just basically talked about. Tesla and all his people and everybody working in science, in radio communications and faster than light communications. His stuff was definitely light speed. It was faster than current speeds. And Tesla, at the end of his life, dealing with the consequences of knowing that the aliens are out there, the government's now involved, and they're doing everything they can to contain it and do whatever they can to try to have meetings and blah, blah, blah. And then introduced into my Star Trek reboot is a very, very young Gene Roddenberry. And he has an encounter. Thank you, 50% fuel capacity. And he has an encounter with people from Starfleet. And you can guess who he has a run-in with. Maybe. There's quite a few characters to use at this point. But he has an encounter with Starfleet. But Starfleet shouldn't exist at that time. And that's because they don't. But there's been temporal incursions we've seen through the series that brought him back to that time. But what did exist at that time was the United Federation of Planets in earlier forms. The way that they eulogize it or laud it in the Enterprise series is that we humans formed the United Federation of Planets. That we were the ones that pioneered the formation of the United Federation of Planets and put Starfleet together for the defense of everybody. And no, it's not that way at all. That just puts us at the center of the picture. That's hubris. They've been around a lot longer than we have, and the United Federation of Planets has been around a lot longer than we have, and that's the twisting of the Star Trek canon, or trying to kind of, well, do something different, I suppose. And I think that's more factual. All right, and then now introducing other characters, Aegis, Khan, through the genetics that are taking place today. Start tying Star Trek right back hardcore into everything that's taken place. And then even meeting at the Brookings Institution and the mission to put Star Trek on air. And the actual alien opposition and other forces, oppositions to even creating a show like Star Trek and broadcasting it to humankind. So anyway, a really different take on how I would go with Star Trek right now. I think it's completely meaningless as a television program at this point. It's all just fantasy and whatever you want to make up. It has no link to the real world anymore, which was the original mission. The Galactic Federation is a thing. They have a big presence on YouTube. They said anarchy. It ends with them seeing that huge hangar door open and that the blue light coming out. You have Blue Book on your server. Where I think Hazardous is, I think we're all ready to be told. We all know already, and they just need to say, yeah, you're right about everything. It's fine. All right, let me turn Liam back up.
To all passengers, glad to be your captain today. First, I'd like to welcome everyone on behalf of Radiant Airways on flight SVI-32. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 33,000 feet and airspeed of 250 knots. It's 5:12 p.m. and are expecting to land in Bedford approximately at 10:07 p.m. local time. Current temperature of 59 degrees Fahrenheit. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the area as we descend. I'll update you before we reach our destination. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight.
All right. Now you brought up something big. The Anunnaki. Sumerian tablet translations. And the leader in the field of putting out what some people call lies and propaganda and bull was Zecharia Sitchin. And Zecharia Sitchin was a scholar who would translate Sumerian tablets. And he was also, from a young age, deeply interested in biblical scripture. And in researching Sumerian tablet translations, he was trying to find answers to scriptural questions. Like going after Gnostic texts. Things that are not necessarily included in the average Bible that we have on our shelves today, and usually only brought out during something big like a liturgical assembly, where you were allowed to bring out every other book, every other scroll, every other bit of information that was not included to be released to the general public in the common Bible. So Sitchin goes on to claim that researching the Sumerian tablet translations, Babylonian tablets, that he was able to find the answers to these scriptural questions about Nephilim. And in looking for the Nephilim, that's where he discovered Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki involvement with our planet from an early time. 100,000 years before the Great Flood. Which changes every history book. Everything. That just changes everything. Even modern Egyptology today, their timelines don't seem to work. And it seems to indicate a time frame going backwards from ancient Egypt way further than anybody has ever said. So you've got 100,000 year period on Earth prior to the Great Flood where the Anunnaki are here operating. As the tablets go further and further and he starts publishing more and more, it didn't just start at Mars. That's one version of the story, and that's one strong possibility. That whole life came from Mars aspect. These stories are a little bit different. These stories deal with their home planet called Nibiru. And it deals with their history on Nibiru. And it deals with their orbit and an eccentricity through climate change and their orbit that they're basically, in a nutshell, they're losing heat. Their orbit keeps them so far away from a sun that they're not able to sustain their heat as they're reaching their furthest points in orbit. And they want to do the Highlander 2 thing. They want to build a shield by suspending gold in the atmosphere to retain, they tried a bunch of things, detonating nuclear weapons in volcanoes to try to reawaken volcanoes, all kinds of things. And they realized they were going to settle on gold particle suspension in the upper atmosphere to retain the heat. So they got a bunch of scientists together. Actually, the story is much even longer than that. There's so much drama with them discovering Earth. But just moving the story forward to get to it, you get to a point in their history where they discovered that they come up with the suspension idea, and they dispatch 2 leaders, Enki and Enlil, and like 50 super soldiers. And they do an expedition to Earth to, they've surveyed and they already know that there's gold here. So then they send the first mission. And it was to set up these mining operations to extract gold from Earth. And we have an abundance of it. Or where they don't have it. They don't have the gold resources like we do. Now, Mars comes into play because Mars was a way station. So as you're sending shuttles back and forth between here and Earth and Nibiru, it's just like on the roads, the highway systems, you have, way stations or prep stations and or what, so they built a prep station on Mars for shuttles coming and going, transports of gold. And then the 50 heroes, they weren't all just miners. They were responsible for different aspects of setting up permanent bases. And they're the ones that introduced and set up calendar, wheel, agriculture, everything. And how we come into the story, that's very strange. I don't really want to get into that. That really can rub people the wrong way sometimes when you're dealing with our own origins. So, to just finish it all up, the aliens have been here the whole time. They can come and go as they please. It's just that there really was no major need to after their mission was fulfilled to get all the gold. But there were plenty of them that would rather, what they say, it's better to rule in hell. So early on in these stories, you have plenty that are just interested in power, and they'd rather stay here on Earth and be in charge of things here and pull strings here. So then Sitchin died. And now we don't know. And now all we can do is now look to all these other stories that we've had in ufology, in conspiracy theory, everything that we've been discussing earlier in this conversation. All of these kind of stories, and now try to figure out from ancient times how they've come through. They've talked about bloodlines. We've heard lots about bloodlines, secret societies. Even Gilgamesh himself, which is where we kind of normally start our own history lessons, is with Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, the whole adventure is him trying to discover if he really is part Anunnaki. And he wants the immortality of being an Anunnaki. The whole epic of Gilgamesh is his quest to go to the places where the earlier Anunnaki used to live and to discover if all that was true. And then he's bound and determined. He wants to be immortal like the Anunnaki, or long-lived. He wanted to know what they were eating or what they were doing so that they could stay on Earth so long and be so long-lived. And in the end, he has a situation where he finds what it is that would make him immortal, but then he loses it. So anyway, the whole Epic of Gilgamesh is just a continuation of that Anunnaki story. All right, let me get back to the chat room. I've been yakking enough. So close to liftoff. Some ancient civilization have stories of the same time before the moon. Yeah, man, that's funny, huh? It was pointed out to me that in old literature, a lot of stories start with "in the time before the moon" rather than "once upon a time." That there are passages in old literature that start with "in the time before the moon." Nibiru, right, but they supposedly had a hand in the destruction of Mars. The Martian War is a crazy story. The Anunnaki Wars are fascinating, and it's part of the same story. Okay, like I was mentioning, some wanted to stay here, some wanted to rule, there were power plays. They're just like us. The way that they come across in these stories, they're very human in their emotions and thinking. And if the human construct psychologically is a universal constant, the human condition, that's what we call it, because that's what we know it as, the human condition. There are only so many personality types. There are only so many human archetype personality types. There are only so many. Personality types aren't unlimited in males and females. And so, same thing with the Anunnaki. They're prone to jealousy. They're prone to all the things that we experience. So, even in their own culture, there's going to be faction fighting after a while, and dirty deeds done dirt cheap, and skullduggery and nefariousness. And it's all there. And later in time, like the end of that 1,000-year period before the Great Flood, they were having their own civil wars and using us as pawns in their civil wars. The whole look of the pyramids in the Middle East as it is right now, according to these tablets, is the result of their wars. The Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita, talks about their flying platforms and dropping nuclear bombs on each other, shooting missiles everywhere. The Anunnaki stories talk about detonating massive weapons of mass destruction like nuclear weapons all across the Middle East. The condition of the pyramid and Egypt, the condition of Egypt in general today, in some areas in India, yada, yada, yada. It backs up the story that they detonated all these weapons. They desolated Egypt. And when one group was in there trying to seize control of power, that the pyramids aren't tombs, that they're navigational structures for comings and goings of aircraft, spacecraft. Talks about what was inside the pyramids, all this technology, crystals and different things that were used to control communications and navigations between here and Nibiru. And how they stripped all those out of the pyramid and moved them over to another location to take away the power from one group. It's amazing stuff, man. And then again, going back to everybody's Bibles, like the Hindus' Bhagavad Gita, and going to different texts from over here in China, and they all kind of start out with some sort of being from the sky is coming. It's always a being from the sky came and started this up and started this up and started that up. The Hindu stuff is really trippy. That's a little bit frightening too. They've got, whoa. No, a boy that remembered from a past life fighting in the Martian Wars. Wow. I've had some pretty strange dreams. Some people are like, dreams are you moving on and living in your other lifetimes. And I'm like, if that's true, man, that's weird. I've been a space marine. I fought vampires. I've been Spider-Man. Come on. I have fought demons. Please tell me when we're dreaming, we're not moving on and living in our other past lives or future lives. The Spider-Man stuff, maybe, yeah, that was really cool. The Black Pyramid inside the mountain in Alaska. I don't know about that one, but I'm sure there's something to it. How much longer do we have to go? How long do they have to go? Beta did not fly any hours today on their website. I'm looking over at the Hustle Brothers page. Let me turn them back up while I go look at something.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
Oh, God protect them, man. God protect the astronauts.
The liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize
Did I
to
miss
flight
it?
levels because that hydrogen is
No.
naturally boiling inside the tank.
Oh, we're just passing over one of the
We'll get the
Great
liquid
Lakes.
oxygen tank a little later in
Man.
the count. Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis II crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency. Let's listen in for that call.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
Here we are flying around in
Now work is
simulators
being done to arm the flight
like we're
termination
ancient
system.
aliens.
This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track.
They're getting ready to take off around the moon. I'm
There's a brief
looking at
built-in delay.
an electronic
The launch abort
device,
system has time to pull the
looking at my
astronauts to safety first.
flight path and my approach setup on a tablet.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all four of
I
them,
never even
are in the
figured
proper temperature
when I was a little
range for
kid.
launch.
I knew I would get to see some amazing technology by the time I grew up. I didn't anticipate we'd already be kind of at the beginnings of Star Trek. I didn't really know that I would ever really get to play with computers.
Big shout out to the missus. I told her about the temperature on the batteries, and you can tell.
GLS is go for core stage
He's
APU
just happy that I'm happy.
Core stage APUs start. Those are auxiliary
Hazardous
power
says 5
units.
minutes. Turkish.
Where they're launching
Turbines,
from,
which
Florida.
provide pressure
Yep.
to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25 engine.
Be funny if he took his mic with him.
Later at
Mate,
T-minus 2
you-
minutes and 30 seconds. This is what allows that to happen.
If I brought that with me. NASA's on spacecraft.
Coming up in about 20 seconds.
Yeah,
We're
Florida.
listening for go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve. This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
Been a real pleasure bringing you folks my Skydude live stream series for all these episodes. Just been fun doing it.
Moving through the milestones.
Thank you for all your support.
All is looking good.
Please like and subscribe.
Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector.
Even if you
control
didn't, I'd
actuator
keep
to-
at it. I
Guys,
just
smash
love
that
doing
like
this.
button if you've been
I have
here.
enjoyed it so much. Learning to
gonna start
fly has
screaming
just
more
been
already.
such a joy. Now, I know I'm not doing it for real. I'm,
4 RS-25s,
you know, I don't know that,
3 of them.
I don't know that I'd
Heritage,
want, I don't
one of
know.
them built from,
I might be too old now. I don't know.
and there you see
But
them moving.
it's something that I've always wanted to learn how to do.
Come on, guys. 2 minutes.
I wanted to
Can you see them
impress
getting
my
the red?
dad.
Now we're gonna start
It all
bringing the
started from
power
that.
from both
I
the
looked.
upper
My dad
stage
was
and the
just
lower
an
stage of the
amazing
rocket,
person,
the internal.
and
Imagine
know,
how you'd feel being on
I admired my dad, and he was for a short period of time in life a pilot,
GLS is go for upper
a private pilot.
Our power is removed from
I'm not gonna
rockets,
lie, I'd be
upper
shit.
stage.
And he never went beyond,
CPS, and it's been
as far as I know, visual flight rules. We didn't talk about it too much later in life. I wasn't interested in learning to fly so much.
Right now,
The flight simulators weren't good enough, and I didn't have a good enough rig, and could never really get into it.
away from the moon. And if
But
all
anyway,
goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
I wanted to.
We'll be keeping you
I
updated
wanted
on
to
it.
not be better than I wanted to impress him. I wanted to learn how to go beyond
Right. Cheers to the
what
US
he was
going
able to
back the
do
moon.
and learn IFR. And just learn everything.
Godspeed, my guys.
Learn everything. Yeah, Godspeed for sure. Learn everything I could about
200 of you like smash
flying.
that like button. Also, hit that reaction spout 100 times. Show your appreciation.
Yeah, hit those heart. Just hit that heart button in the chat room.
Right now,
That
the
helps
rocket does
too.
not know what the
You know.
T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS.
6-day tour,
The rocket
Christian
will
says.
count itself down,
We're going to keep you
but honor
updated.
any
I promise
holds
you
that
that.
could come from the ground. Now, shortly after
Woohoo!
liftoff,
Yippee!
Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will
Right,
take over
Max,
from
I
there.
hope you are not right, yeah. With respect, I just hope you're not right.
Great
T-minus
call.
30, guys.
The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
Here we go.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Water suppression, it's going, guys. We're going for launch. Go for launch.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Mate, G-force on
Humanity's
that'd be
next
insane.
great voyage begins.
World is watching. Sure is.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
Going well.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights.
They do have a redundancy system.
Target milestone.
They can fly on 3 boosters.
Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
Makes me think it's
1200 miles
Paul
per
Simon
hour.
lyrics.
Launch me in on
We
board.
come on the ship they
G-force
call the
being insane.
Mayflower. We come on the ship that sails the moon. We come in the age's most uncertain hour and sing an American tune.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute. Approaching max Q.
No, max Q is the maximum amount of aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Approaching max Q, no.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
2,600 miles an hour. Shit myself, being honest. I would have left it behind with me. I wouldn't be conscious at this stage.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Engine throttled down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark.
Wonder how many goats are watching this right now.
Throttle down.
30? If it's about 30 of yours, we won't know.
Confirmed separation. Main engine
Right.
throttling up.
There's your 2 SLS boosters gone back.
I had to break away at the time the boosters were
Still
separating.
nominal, guys.
Integrity, guidance converged.
And they didn't give us a shot like that. They showed us people in chairs. Instead of giving us the GoPro separation shot.
No, I believe these are expendable.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation.
I still don't understand why, when they're going to do something like this at this day and age, they don't have
Now passing 5,000 miles per hour.
all kinds of balloons. Well, things in the air, other things in the air. Maybe not. Maybe that'd be dangerous. But cameras at different altitudes and more of this kind of stuff.
for launch abort system jettison.
How far are they? I'll give you an update now in a minute.
SpaceX is way better at filming.
Copy jettison. Team Eco 8+02.
It's nice to be able to read your text on a screen when it's not so
SpaceX
much
will
going
give you
on.
telemetry.
And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Carmen line.
Infrared.
Outstanding, Stan. We have the same.
Still nominal, guys.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis 2, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen crossed the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
MECO, main engine cutoff.
Do you still schedule employees like this?
You
or like
really?
this? Try building the work schedule with When
Really?
I Work.
Really?
Get it done in
You would
minutes.
put an
Share
ad
it with your team
right
and
now?
make changes instantly. Try it free today.
I wonder if it's infrared or if it's gamma.
The US are going back to the moon, guys.
Yes,
They're
we
going
are.
to travel around the far side of the moon.
That's right. Yes, we are.
We're
That's
currently
that's
positive.
America. Ain't that America?
T4
For you and me.
GPS processing.
Ain't that America? Something to see, baby.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed
Home of the
right at it.
free.
Currently nominal,
I
guys.
don't say that as loud as I used to.
Christopher Dark Side of the Moon, yeah.
Ah.
The dark side
Confirms
of
he
the moon.
has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes
America.
internal checks and
That's
sends to
right.
navigation channels.
That is right. That is right.
Integrity 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry
That guy's over there crying. I feel you, buddy. I feel you.
So at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles down.
I'm old school like you, man. I feel it.
Miles per hour.
10,000 miles an hour. Mate.
It's been a long road. But I'm more hopeful now than ever before that if we don't destroy ourselves anytime soon with all this crap going on because of some people on this planet,
Trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon
That-
report the shutdown plan to flight director.
There we
Jeff
go.
Freeling, expected
all
at
the dreams we
79
had when we were
miles
kids
from
about
us.
where we could be in the
Currently
future, that
traveling at
Integrity, 78
they can come to be.
11.5
in
miles an
altitude,
hour.
460 miles
We are
down
the
range.
shit.
Integrity.
We are the
expect
shit.
Nominal shutdown.
Christian says, this is when I wish I had some ham. Radio operators let us know what they're really saying.
6 minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight.
It's going nominal, guys.
Seven minutes of mission elapsed time.
7 minutes gone, guys.
Throttling
200
down
off you
as we
live.
approach the abort once around option.
Smash that like
Milestone
button.
at the
Smash
7
that
minute,
follow
30-second
button.
mark.
Smash that subscribe button. Really
Now
helps
84
me out.
miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Integrity AOA open.
AOA open.
The window is now open for an abort once around option.
Looks like a bird.
Splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal.
Yeah, I
azimuth
want to
at this
live
time.
feed them going around the moon
Still
too. It's one of
nominal,
those with all this camera technology, and they can get messages from
There's an abort
Voyager,
window now, but
which is
they're
outside of
passing
our
straight through it.
solar system.
About 10 seconds remaining.
It doesn't, you know, I mean, come on, don't leave us in a state of
Okay, see that
conspiracy
bottom right
theory.
corner in your chat? Hit that about 100, 200 times. That reaction.
I would have put up,
whether it's
even
a
with this, I
heart,
would have
whether
had
it's a
satellites
smile.
so that even when you
Hit
go
about
behind the
100,
dark side of the
200
moon, there's no
times. Completely free, and
cutoff.
it really helps me out.
It's one of those,
It
you
helps me
know,
keep
man,
these
come on.
streams
Don't do all this and then create a bunch of potential for conspiracy theory.
Integrity and nominal MECO.
That was a nice
stage
shot.
Separated.
Is this
Core
animation
stage
now?
now separated.
We see the same on board, Stan.
America, weird shit. Guys, if anyone here is
Thank
having
you,
a beer
Hazardous.
with
I
me,
had
you
to
let
take
me
it
know.
over to them.
Let me know
We
what
have a nominal main
is your
engine cutoff
favorite
heading
drink.
in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon.
Have a
Core
beer with
stage
me.
has
Cheers
separated, done
to
its
America
job.
going
Space
back
Launch
to the
System
moon.
upper stage, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS, still attached to the Orion spacecraft.
You know, if you give anybody any chance for any conspiracy fodder, you know, and it's weird to have to think about that when you're planning a moon mission, but you know, they should know by now the way we are. And you know, but then again,
if you're on X,
if aliens,
jump out
if
swing for a
aliens
second.
are actually
Repost.
involved, now we have to go back to that possibility. If there really are aliens involved, then yeah, we're gonna have a lot of times of blackout. Oh, I'm sorry, we just can't. They're behind the moon. Or they're currently sleeping, so we're not bringing you any footage. This is all pre-recorded footage from earlier.
Now reminding the crew that the perigee raise maneuver time of ignition is as expected prior to booster ignition.
Sorry, just nothing to show you right now. They're playing Parcheesi.
Time being 49 minutes, 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
I wonder what the dimensions are on that thing. I mean, I wonder if they are, you know, again, they're not going to be stuck in their chairs the whole time. I'm wondering their size compared to that. Do they have bunks? I mean, they've got a, you know, what do they do for the head? You know, if you're talking 10 days, there's got to be some fine facilities in there.
Right now, sure is. Why not give us?
I want to know what they're eating.
Supposed to be covered.
Did they take any of the 3D food printers up with them? Are they going to do anything
Rocket Lab
new
is
in
going
food?
up. The people are hungry for space. Let me see where Rocket Lab is sitting.
Liam is a big investor in Rocket Lab. He loves them, and I just haven't had the money to get involved anymore. I have stretched myself out.
We sold off
investing.
Rocket Lab today, but we'll see where we're going. Rocket Lab currently sitting at 66.78. So it's higher than where we sold it at.
Just a reminder,
And again,
halfway open on the secondary.
that's 120 higher than where we were when we closed.
Halfway open.
Planet Labs currently up $1.35. No.
2 minivans. That's good. That's plenty of space.
Between Capcom Stan Love and Commander Reed Wiseman.
Lunar.
Passing some milestones. We have a good nozzle extension
It's actually
deployment system.
down.
That is
Red
confirmed,
wire. Currently up.
We
I'm up for
also have the
25
visors are
cents.
confirmed up now
Guys,
past the dynamic phase of flight.
space
That is
sector is pushing
ascent.
forward.
The
We said it would.
their launch and entry suits.
Christian, why
provided
do
them
you
an extra
transmit
layer of
over
protection.
UHF
Now not
or
as needed. They're going to raise those
VHF, not
visors.
secure comms?
They sleep in the bag hammock thing. Cool.
Broly, mate, my guy, we need to go for a
progress
bit.
or get
I'm
out
telling you.
of the suits to begin some of their initial tasks of activating some of the systems aboard in the Integrity spacecraft. It's passing
for beer,
12 minutes
we'll
of mission
stream it.
elapsed time. Again, the perigee raise maneuver that's targeted near 50 minutes of mission elapsed time, 49 minutes, 50 seconds. That's what the crew is going to be working towards. The Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover will focus on preparing for that milestone. In the meantime, mission specialist Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen will start some of the activation of environmental control life support systems. You may hear confirmation of their activation over the Orion to Earth communication network.
Oh, Dylan's going to join, guys.
Houston C3 Ox Power back in
2
auto.
seconds.
Copy C3 Ox, and we're 2 minutes to maneuver.
Dylan's going to join.
Right. That's it for
Go,
now.
if you're still
Think
in
about
the
this
chat,
time tomorrow. They
you're welcome
head to the moon
join
for a
my
4-day
day.
trip. Yep.
I pulled off a little switcheroo today. Sold Rock Lab at 67.8 and repurchased at 65.
13 minutes and 30 seconds of mission elapsed time. We're
Yeah.
going to continue to
In
follow
the community
crew
portfolio,
of the Artemis 2 mission. They are
sold at
beginning their journey around the moon
66.30,
to
I believe.
verify the systems that will take us to
And,
its surface. An
well,
incredible
when they get to the
ascent.
moon, the
Artemis
first time
2
they
is
could
underway.
listen, no
Reed
idea
Wiseman,
what
Victor Glover,
they used to
Christina
listen
Cook, and
to.
Jeremy Hansen
Brought Harvard with
begin
the
their journey
games.
to the moon.
I brought
Still
Harvard in my
milestones to
private
come up as we
portfolio,
await
my
solar
guy.
array deploy and the critical burns that will get integrity. It's a high Earth orbit around the
148,
Earth
I believe.
before engines are fired.
So
I
I'm
hope
slightly down
at the end of the day,
I think genuinely,
for them all, I hope everything goes just well.
You're in it for the long term.
Leaving aliens out for a minute and any of that wild stuff. I hope it is calm
People are just joining us. Welcome
and
back to the Space
normal
Coast.
to the
Just
point of boring.
$10.
14 minutes ago, and
When you
wow,
got
That
it.
everything
If you're
goes
trying to swing
exactly
for
as
it,
planned
while you're trying to
and nothing in any way weird happens at all, and that it's completely uneventful and boring.
was wonderful. I mean, it was a beautiful launch.
I can't wait to see what's gonna come. You know, the new, new different looks at the moon from different. It's just gonna be. We're in for a good time in the next couple of days.
Yeah, go if you're around.
Really.
Jump in.
Man, we don't have the words in the English language to describe.
Yep.
this kind of
Godspeed.
event and
Safe trip.
pride
Return
and
safely.
So many emotions. You know, they
Absolutely.
are truly
Yes, sir.
breaking some barriers, and hopefully, you know, as Gary just said, they've got a long day ahead of them. So wishing them well on everything. But so far, what a beautiful launch to watch.
Yeah, to be returning to the lunar orbit.
I can't believe we didn't get any cockpit shots during any of that.
Farther from Earth than any other humans before them. Maybe they see parts of the moon that we've never seen before. I mean, what a great start.
Maybe they'll release them later because you know they have to have cameras rolling all over the place. They're so small and tiny now. You can put cameras everywhere.
Straight into.
So I hope maybe later again they didn't want to do it in case something bad were to happen, but you know, maybe later they'll show us what it was like from in the cockpit during takeoff. We'll have to see what they release later this evening and going in the next couple of days.
By this history-making moment.
We have the beer out at the moment. Look,
we saw that in
from
all the
Close
crowds.
and Bell.
Yeah, oh, you guys just saw that.
I'm supposed to try to wrap this up in like
I guess they just made it
10 minutes, and it's
the
not going to
crest of the
happen.
earth, and you could see the sun.
This flight is longer than I wanted, but I was planning on doing a skip.
What they're looking at now, and I can't wait to see what they're looking at in about 5
And I
or
should
6 days.
probably shut this down, take my eyes off, and get back to getting this thing down to the ground.
This launched on the first try because we know.
So
like,
let me
any
say
little
goodbye
thing
to the
we have
Hustle
to be,
brothers.
Keeping safety in mind, and we want to make sure.
Okay. Do. And we don't have much further to go. But that's enough time where I should consider skipping. Now this is going to be a visual flight landing, and this is where the haunting happened and has been happening, is my lack of experience with flying this thing in general and manually, and getting the speed under control and just having a decent touchdown and landing. Now, things that can happen when you do a skip is coming in like a bat out of hell. You're not at the right height. So one of the things I want to try before I skip is bringing my speed down to, like, you know, at least 250 or under 250. Because when I've skipped, being at these high speeds, as soon as I come in, I'm still going. It doesn't change my speed. There's under 250 right now. Whoa. 243. It's so hard to dial it in, too. we don't have our little magenta marker that shows where our speed is, and it's really hard for me to judge where the hell is my speed going to be in the next 30 seconds and just get my speed right. So I'm trying to just get it. I don't want to slow it down too much. And then these things take so long to spool. Takes a minute. Well, it seems close enough. Okay, what else do I have to think about? Nothing really. The runway elevation. Runway 29. $129 feet. And then dealing with air traffic control. So let's make sure we're as good as we can be with them right now. Then they might tell us to either continue on and land or cancel the flight plan and then set it up again. Okay. All right, well, cross your fingers. Okay. The moment of fear. You don't have enough fuel to skip this phase. Oh my. Well, let's invoke our superpower. The haunting continues. I thought we filled the tanks up. You have to watch the replay. 7 p.m. Hazardous says Trump will speak about something. I will be around, Captain. I'll make sure that I'm around. All I have to do is a few chores tonight. We're not really doing dinner tonight. Whoa.
Maintain present heading in. Altitude.
Whoa.
We're in overspeed.
We're in overspeed. See, we shouldn't be.
Autopilot.
So it disregards whether you slow down or not. Where is it putting me? Where did it put us? On approach. And we're overspeeding still.
Last transmission.
What?
Kin Sierra Victor India Tree 2. Climb and maintain 1800. Contact Hanscom Tower.
See, now he's telling me not to come in for a landing. Oh, this simulator.
1800. Tower on 118.5. Kin Sierra Victor India Tree 2.
Sierra Victor India Tree 2, Hanscom Tower. Altimeter 29092, cleared ILS runway 29 approach.
We don't have an ILS.
Runway 29 approach.
This is not an ILS approach.
Victor India Tree 2.
Kin Sierra Victor India Tree 2, wind calm. Clear to land runway 29er.
Caution, Captain. Flaps overspeed.
I can't believe this son of a bitch didn't slow down. my God, so much to do.
Clear to land runway 29er. Kin Sierra Victor India Tree 2.
And they put a tower right there. What the hell? 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 The gear's not down? Oh my God. Oh my God. Unbelievable. The haunting continues. The horror and the haunting continues. And that's the way it goes. I don't like this aircraft. I don't like it. And that was a bad one. Well, there went all our money for the day. Yeah, that's okay. And, you know, easy come, easy go. And the haunting continues. So, I'll try to be back at 7 for the Trump thing. And we'll pick it up tomorrow at some point. And I've got to get over this hump again. Now, this is bad. Not even just being able to land it. And she's overreacting way too much. So as I was pulling up, coming down to the runway, there's too much, there's very little dead space applied. So I've got to really work out this controller sensitivities. And then when I would pull up, you saw that she would yank really hard up. All of a sudden, she just spike up, and I just couldn't get the speed and the nose to just come and glide down nice and easy. So I've got some zen to find with this aircraft. Yeah. Get it next time. All right, folks. Interesting day. Really, 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 really interesting day. And I'm glad I got to enjoy a moment of literal history taking place with you. So thank you for tuning in this afternoon, and I will see you soon. This has been Skydude 383, the Phantoms of Fallen Flight. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 adventures with yours truly. Today's show was not brought to you by anything that looks like a giraffe. Nothing even slightly close to something having a long neck. Some people have unusually long necks. And the show was not brought to you by them.